pleased to present for your consideration.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Jabberbox Podcast, episode 24. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Bond, and with me are the icy blues of the desert, the former devil himself, Mr. Daniel Singleton. What's up, Dan?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
If you're joining in for the very first time, then you should know that this show is about the two of us as we ramble on through pop culture topics such as, but not limited to, games, movies, shows, and whatever else we want to jabber about. You can get the show over on youtube.com/dandydigital or over on your favorite podcast service by searching Jabberbox and hitting that subscribe button. If you like what you hear and want to be part of the show, then go ahead and head on over to patreon.com/dandydigital. Now let's get on with the show. We're going to go ahead this week, Dan. Last night, actually, we had the 2021 The Gamer or Game Awards. Did you get a chance to check that out?
Yes, I did.
All right, so we're going to go ahead. That's going to be the bulk of the show this week, just because there's a lot of information to go through. We're not going to go through all of it, but we'll definitely hit on a lot of it. So before we get into that, though, let's get in some crumble.
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. This week, holy shit.
This week was an all-star week.
God
all-star
damn. Week. Is it possible we can say they all tie?
It's pretty close. I'm not going to lie.
So I didn't actually get a chance to go through my rankings and add them to my overall list, but
I have one in the top 5.
Whoa, really? I have to think about it. I mean, I have some pretty solid people up in the top 5. So just for the audience, that are listening in, the crumble range. So we had York Peppermint for the cookie, animal, like a sugar cookie with the Mother's Animals cracker on there, or a cookie on there. We had Mother's Recipe, which was a different type of cookie, eggnog, and gingerbread. Yeah,
there wasn't a single bad one among them.
No, not at all. So let's go ahead. What was your number? What was your number 5? Let's go bottom top.
So my number 5 was the sugar featuring Mother's Reindeer games.
Yeah, but
that is by no means to say that that's bad cookie. It's just that the rest of the week was so strong that you have to have one in the back, and that's taking up the slack in the back there. It was still really good. It was better than the previous sugar cookie featuring Mother's Animal cookie that they had a few weeks ago. I thought it was better.
Yes.
Because they mixed the sprinkles into the dough before they baked it. And
the cookie was mint. So I added a different type of flavor to it. I made sure I cut that cookie so that when I had my little quarter, I got that in there. And the first bite was like a mint.
Oh, yeah.
Taste.
It was good.
Real fucking good. Yeah. I will say that my 5th one was Mother's Recipe. Still really good. It's chocolate chip, the oatmeal, all of that. It was a solid cookie, but I think that one was my number 5.
I think that was my number 4, and it surprised me a lot because I was a little bit skeptical with the flavor combinations in the description. It was like, oh, here's an oatmeal cookie with chocolate chips with sea salt sprinkled in and on the cookie, and I was like, I don't know. I was skeptical, and then I tried it, and it's like, oh wow, that's pretty damn good. Way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, man. It was very tasty. So that was my number 5. My number 4 was actually the sugar cookie featuring Mother's Animal cookie on there.
Yeah, so that was my 5 and 4.
Yeah. So how about your 3rd?
My 3rd was Gingerbread Cake.
Mine was the eggnog. While that was delicious, and it was actually what I wanted in a cookie, the other ones were just stronger. So that one was my number 3, which is really good. And I did try the cinnamon on there, like you said, on one of the last bites, and it was fucking solid.
Oh yeah. That cinnamon's a game changer, and I'll talk about that.
Okay. So your number 3 was the gingerbread?
Yes. Yep. That was my that was my number 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
the reason I hesitated there is because I have 2 different rankings for eggnog. And the reason is because I did one where it was I ranked it unmodified, and then I ranked it with the cinnamon sprinkle on top that I did myself. And that came in, it was a distinction.
So you're adding, okay. So you're adding that to your list?
Yes. Oh yeah. It's an unofficial cookie, but the modification changed it so much that I felt it was justified.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
So I take it that's one of your top 10, top 5, whatever.
Yeah, it is number 5. It barely edged out key lime pie.
I mean, to a point. It's unofficial.
It's fair enough.
So then what was your numbers? So my number 2 is the gingerbread. I felt like that one was pretty solid. I like the little gingerbread men that they put on top of the cream cheese filling.
Yes.
And I really like the sugar itself, like sprinkled on the cookie itself. So it gave it like a frosted design to it.
Oh yeah. It was all around a really good cookie. I really like those little gingerbread man sprinkles as well, because it was a nice little texture and crunch.
Right.
Ah, so good. I might get another one of those and another eggnog one next Monday when I get my next batch.
You should, man. The gingerbread one, it goes out there with every, like, gingerbread in general. It is a very underrated cookie.
Agreed.
So then what was your number 2?
So my next one, it's not my number 2, because again, I split the eggnog into 2 different rankings. Unmodified eggnog was my next one.
Okay.
Just straight. It was so good though. It was so good. It's just creamy. The flavor was just right. The cookie was, it was nice and soft, and it was just amazing.
Nice. Okay,
and that was the one I was most excited about, I think, was eggnog.
Yeah. I was very excited when I saw it on there. So I'm, surprised that it didn't hit as high, but it was still a really fucking good cookie.
Yeah, and there's not a single thing wrong with any cookie this week.
Right. So then the number 1, I'm assuming that we both have the same one, which is the York Peppermint cookie.
Yes, though I did not anticipate it being a filled cookie.
I did not expect that either.
I
was very excited about the thing,
surprise.
And then when you took a bite, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that was a super pleasant surprise. I was like, oh, damn, this is different than all the other cookies in the past that have had like a featuring whatever. Usually they make the frosting incorporate that featured part. And then they might put like a piece or 2 on top. But this one was like, it was stuffed with the York peppermint patty filling in the chocolate cookie. And then it had
so
York.
Fucking good.
Oh man, it was awesome. It was the best unmodified cookie of the week.
I really like it, but that also goes in with like my candy, right? For I want to say Halloween, when we were talking about our favorite candies, and York peppermint patties are one of my favorites that I take. And so this cookie, while I didn't think it was going to rank higher on the week's cookies, I thought it was still going to be really good until I bit into it and it had that filling inside, which was really fucking solid.
That cookie is number 9 for me all time. So I have 2 in the top 10 this week.
Oh, that's fucking cool. I think it broke a top 10 for me for that one as well.
Was good.
I'm going to sit down over the weekend and kind of look at it and plug them in, and then I'll let you know.
Yeah. So my top is the eggnog with the cinnamon sprinkle. So after I took a couple bites and my wife tried a bite, Jessica took a bite. We were sitting there like, this is really good, but there's something. It's really good, but there's something just slightly off, right? And we were like, what is it? And she was like, well, it's got a heavy nutmeg flavor. And I was like, it got me thinking. I was like, what I'm not getting is any cinnamon really. Like, I'm sure it's in there, but I'm not picking it up. So I went over to our pantry, and I just grabbed the cinnamon and I just sprinkled a little bit on top and took a bite, and it was a total fucking game changer between unmodified eggnog cookie and cinnamon sprinkle eggnog cookie. It completely changed the cookie and sent it into the stratosphere.
Nice. That's awesome.
So, yeah, it was really good.
Then, like, next week's going to be good because next week we'll be doing our eggnog tastes. Which makes for riveting podcasting, but we're fucking doing it anyway. And because this week we're going to do our top 5 Christmas songs, but we're going to go ahead and delay that until next week because we have a lot to talk about for the Game Awards. So everybody has
next week is going to be a Christmas special kind of thing.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I'm excited about it.
And before we finish with Crumble Cookies, I want to give a special shout out to my Crumble Cookie location in Goodyear, Arizona. So they know me there now. Every week I walk in and they're like, "Hey, what's going on? Which cookie are you most excited about?" Because they know that we review them on here. And so I think they might be listening. So just want to give them a shout out real quick.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Cool, man. Well, now they know that they could probably take that modified cookie of yours and maybe add it to their official list there. So next eggnog trip, they'll have cinnamon on it.
Yeah, by all means, feel free.
That'd be dope. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in a little bit. So we had the 2021 Game Awards last night. It went on for 3 hours for the stream that you could see on either IGN or YouTube, or I think even Twitch did it a little bit. So overall, I don't know how much you had a chance to see, but
major highlights. I didn't watch every second of it.
Okay. So overall, I think that the show has a solid B ranking, right? For any sort of show. There was a lot of world premieres that they did, and the world premieres weren't brand new games necessarily. They added some movie trailers, they added some gameplay trailers for games that we already knew about, and then there were certain world premiere secondary trailers for games that we already knew that were coming out. There were a number of trailers that were announced after the fact, I believe even today, such as Tunic, which is going to be that Xbox exclusive game. They did a new trailer for it with the release date, which will be March. I forget the actual date, but it's going to be in March of 2022. It is a very beautiful looking game that's going to be a Zelda-like. You're a little fox character that's wearing a tunic, has a sword. You go around different areas and do like stage puzzles almost, like a Zelda. So I'm very looking forward to that one. That one is actually what I really wanted to get an Xbox for, is because of that exclusive. But we're going to go through some of the things that we went through. So you let me know if there's anything you want to jump in. I'm going to kind of just go down the show notes as they appeared. Sure. So the show first opened up with a world premiere of Persona 5 Arena Ultimax, which is essentially a fighting game for the Persona 5 characters. That'll be coming out March 17th. I haven't really played a whole lot of Persona games. I don't believe that you did either. So there isn't a whole lot for us to jump in on that one.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I played a fighting game in general.
Right. Yeah. You can jump in on that Dragon Ball Fighters, man. That's on Game Pass, I think.
I'll have to look, but probably not.
Yeah. So they did open up with a concert, right after that world premiere, the concert performance, which was Sting. He came out and he did his single from the Arcane anime, that soundtrack, which was What Could Have Been. If you haven't seen it, you should check that out. It was very well done. That song is really fucking cool. I thought it was really neat that he was out there. And he did, let me see, I forget, I should have had the guy's name here, because he had a violinist out there as well, which is Chen. And he is a violinist that is from Australia. So he was on stage as well. They had somebody playing piano. So it was the three of them playing. doing their song, and then the Game Awards orchestra was in the back, and that they came forward, and then they kind of jumped in there. So it was a pretty epic song to see live, especially since I really like doing that or listening to it on my own. So check that out. Then the Game Awards announced the Best Independent Game winner, which was Kenna Bridge of Spirits, which is a PlayStation exclusive. I actually played that game, and it was phenomenal. It was like the team is essentially built by animators, and this was their first game together doing it. So it very much looked like a Pixar movie. So congratulations to those guys. They also won the best debut indie game as well.
Unfortunately, a game I'll almost never play.
Well, you never know. Never say never.
True.
Yeah. So, excuse me. So then we had a world premiere gameplay reveal of Senua's Saga Hellblade 2.
Which is going to be on Game Pass on day one.
It will be, yes. Yeah. I never actually played the first one. Did you play the first one?
A couple of years ago, if I recall correctly. So it's been a while, but yes.
So what's the... I don't know anything about it other than people really like it. What's the gameplay like in the first one?
Shit.
If you
like I said, man, it's been a couple years. Right. I remember it being enjoyable and smooth. I mean, it wasn't ultra memorable. I remember the big parts, but not all the details. Is it like a Dark Souls or a Demon Souls, like one of the like a roguelike, or? I have not played those.
No. Okay.
I know, right? So I'm a sinner.
Oh, well, I don't play them. I just know that, like,
I don't have any basis of comparison. Yeah. Okay. I guess is what I'm saying.
So based on the world premiere trailer, it has me excited. I actually downloaded the first one from Game Pass. So once I finish up with Halo and all the other games, I will jump into that prior to playing Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Because the cinematic trailer looked cool where she was attacking this giant fucking zombie looking guy, with her tribe. So then we saw the world premiere trailer, which was a cinematic trailer for Star Wars Eclipse. This is going to be, I don't know if this is going to be exclusive, but it's going to be done by Quantic Dream. And I believe Quantic Dream did games like Detroit Become Human. They did Heavy Rain. So essentially they're story-based games that give you multiple choice, right? Like a choose your own adventure type games.
Okay.
And I just double checked it, and this is the developer I was thinking. So like, for example, Detroit Become Human, it's a story that was androids living amongst humans, and they are all kinds of different androids. So, you have the cops, you have, medical assistants and workers and so on and so forth. And then it starts talking about their rebellion against the humanity because some people don't treat them right. And, they're starting to see themselves as a separate race. So they do a very good job. I like what they do. For like Heavy Rain, you play like 4 different characters and you're trying to solve a serial killer murder. So I think it's going to be kind of cool how they're going to, or how they may go about Star Wars. It's going to take place during the High Republic era, so they have almost unlimited range as to what they can do with it. And the cinematic trailer just kind of touched on everything. I think you saw Sith, you saw, the Jedi, you saw smugglers, like just normal people and such like that. So I'm not sure exactly where they're going to go. I think they gave us more questions than they did answers. But it's still in very early development, so it'll be a while before we see that. From there, Bethesda was on there. Did you get a chance to see their little commercial?
I did not know.
This one, I think it was really tailored to you in a way of one of their jokes. So they came on and they were talking about, what they're looking for in the future. They gave away a bunch of games via code that just like sprawled over the screen real fast. I took a couple screenshots and I plugged them in a couple times, but
they're all gone.
People are out there bigger, better, and faster than I am in redeeming those. So I actually don't know what they were for. I'm assuming it's to download any one of their titles. But they did make a crack about Skyrim, that they were going to be running out of consoles to put Skyrim on. And then he looked at the camera and then like did that, like, no, we're not, So it's almost like a joke. Like, we'll put Skyrim out on every fucking platform possible.
Forever.
Yeah, forever.
100 years from now, we're still going to be playing fucking Skyrim.
Until they come out the next one, and then that one may be a solid banger more than Skyrim, and then they'll just shift focus on that. But
I hope so.
I thought it was pretty funny.
It definitely sounds like something that I would have enjoyed had I seen it.
Right. We'll have to look it up and send it over to you. We did see a trailer for Lost Ark. It's going to be a free-to-play game. Comes out February 11th. It was okay. It's nothing that really caught my attention. We did see that there was going to be... they did like a little cinematic trailer for the Wonder Woman game that's going to be coming out. And that game is going to be... I don't know how it's going to be, honestly, because they didn't give us any details. Right?
They rarely do with world premiere trailers.
That's true.
It's usually like, hey, this is coming, and here's a couple of animated screenshots. They're not even. I would barely qualify them as clips,
right,
or videos. It's more of an animated, couple seconds at most. But I did not see the Wonder Woman premiere, so yeah. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on that.
No, I mean, it was essentially like she was on a black backdrop. You hear a voiceover, which is her mother talking about how, watching her daughter grow up to be this amazing woman was a joy. And now they need her to come home because their shores are being threatened. So it's going to be taking place on Themyscira. So that'll be cool. So we're going to get to see Wonder Woman amongst her people, fighting, which will be on an island. And it's being done by Monolith Productions, who did the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games for Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
So, which were actually pretty good. I did enjoy those. And if those are on Game Pass, I do recommend you give it a shot. Essentially, they had a system in place where the orcs would create these camps throughout Middle Earth. And as you take out, it's kind of like I want to say Far Cry, where you take out their little camps. Then
how old are those games? This sounds very familiar.
They have some age to them.
I feel like I may have played these once upon a time because they sound very familiar.
Yeah, it's so like once you kill like the leader of like the camp, they came out in 2014, by the way. Once you kill the camp, like another orc can come up in the rankings and take over, and then they would try to challenge you. So the system was ever evolving, and I think that they could do this pretty well with whatever it is that's attacking the island of Themyscira, and Wonder Woman can just bounce around and take out any sort of the uprisings that are trying to gather a foothold on the island. That's what I'm thinking about it based on the last two Middle Earth games. So it's something that's going to be interesting to watch. I'm actually looking forward to seeing that one. From there, we did get to see the best performance winner, which was Maggie Robertson. She played the Resident Evil Village Lady Damaska, which was the tall vampire lady.
Oh, the one that had so many memes?
Yeah, exactly. So congrats on that one. We did see a world premiere of Alan Wake 2. I haven't actually played any of the Alan Wake games, the first one or the DLC pack, but it's cool that they're bringing Alan Wake back into, the Gamerverse essentially, because it's been quite a while since we've seen anything in that lore. We got to see the world premiere trailer of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So that was fucking awesome. I'm a huge fan of the Sonic Hedgehog movie. if you've seen it.
I really need to pull my head out of my ass and actually watch it.
You should, man. I saw it in theater twice before we took the kids.
Because when did that come out? I know that they redid
2 years
everything.
Ago?
Yeah, I should have gone and seen it and supported it because they listened to people's feedback and they changed what was wrong.
Right.
And I wanted to support that because it's rare, sadly. But I never did. That's on me. That's my fault. And like I said, I need to pull my head out of my ass and actually sit down and watch it because I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah, it was very charming. They like I said, they listened to us when we said, "Hey, that's not how Sonic should look," right? But everything else, it was one of those ones where sometimes, like when a character or when an actor has to deal with a blue screen character, right? Like CG character,
Sure.
Sometimes it doesn't work, but I feel like I forget the actor's name, the guy who played the Sonic's friend, that he finds in the movie.
I can see his face, but I can't remember his name.
Yeah, exactly. Along with Jim Carrey, and then Jim Carrey's assistant. The whole dynamic of those guys was just a lot of fun, and it is my favorite video game movie.
Interesting.
And that's not saying a lot because video game movies tend to be complete fucking garbage, right?
Yeah, mostly.
But they did such a great job. It was funny, right? There's that nostalgia factor for at least us and the 90s kids with the blue blur and everything like that. So it focused on Sonic. He had like a little backstory, and then he came to Earth, and then they played out the story, and that's how he meets Dr. Robotnik, and it's essentially like an origin story for Sonic and Dr. Robotnik becoming the Dr. Robotnik that we know. So I thought you need to see it. It was really good, and I'm very excited about the movies. So since I'm seeing Spider-Man this month, right on the 18th, I'm going to be testing out the theaters because I have to see it in theater, otherwise it's going to get spoiled. And I will test how that experience goes, is if I'm going to see this Sonic in a normal theater or if I'll go see it at the drive-in.
I think that's a little unfair, only because the theaters for Spider-Man are going to be fucking packed, and they won't.
You don't know. After the first one, man, you don't know. It's not going to be gangbusters movie.
Correct.
But
that's what I'm saying.
When I'm testing. Thing is,
on purpose, there were other people in the theater and it was a pretty wide open seating, and still people were, they weren't like loud and obnoxious or like throwing stuff around, but they were just, you don't need to stand that close to me. This theater's wide open. Why did you pick the seats right next to me? Kind of stuff. It's like,
right.
It just, so yeah, take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, we'll see. But I'm very excited about the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie. They're bringing back the voice actor for Tails that has been doing Tails for a number of years, which is a pretty cool treat, from like the animated shows, movies, and even, some of the games that they were doing voice acting in. So that's cool. Was it Idris Elba?
Oh, Idris Elba.
Idris Elba. He's coming, and he is actually going to be the voice of Knuckles. So it's pretty cool, man. I think it's going to be a good job. I think they're going to do a good job. I think you need to watch the first one for sure.
Fair enough.
Then we saw the world premiere of Horizon 2 Forbidden West, which was really just another like trailer because we knew that game was coming out. It will be coming out in February. And then they did the Symphony live theme for it, that was pretty neat. I will say that this next announcement really spiked my excitement and then immediately killed it, which was Final Fantasy VII Remake. They were showing that off, and I thought we were going to get part 2, and it wasn't part 2. It was just saying Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, which was the core game and the DLC, is coming to Epic Games, so you can play it on your computer. Awesome.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's cool, but it's not something that you could have shown at the Game Awards. That could have been something like, hey guys, here's Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. We're going to give you this trailer. This is going to be coming, even if it's like the early process, like we're working on this, but here's a teaser trailer and it's going to get everyone's fucking excitement going. And also we're bringing, the first game part as well as the DLC to PC. Now PC players like, fuck yeah, I get to play it. And then, they're going to be bringing it part 2 to PC. That's how I would have done it. But, here I am and not there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there was better ways to do it, like you said.
Yeah, and it's like weird. It's like, okay, that could have been something you announced today, and that spot could have been saved for a different trailer, such as Tunic, right? That everybody's anticipating and wants to see more of, and now we have a release date for that game. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I felt like that was a kind of a hiccup a little bit as far as the game reveals. Then we got the...
And weren't they, if I recall correctly, isn't Square Enix the same that had kind of a disappointing E3 presentation as well?
Yeah. Because they didn't show off the other Final Fantasies that we're looking for. We want Remake Part 2. We want, Final Fantasy, was it 15 or 16? We want more details on that, but instead you're giving us a...
So
whatever.
It just seems like the trend is continuing of disappointment as far as progress from them.
Yeah, I can agree on that one. They did show off the best action game winner, which was Returnal, which is another PlayStation exclusive. This one is kind of that game that I was talking about where it's like the Dark Souls. It's the roguelikes where you're meant to die, right? You're this person that's stuck on this alien planet and you keep dying, and every time that you come back, like the world is different, like the whole level layout is completely done and everything like that. So it's all procedurally generated and very tactical and unforgiving, which is why I can't even get past the first fucking boss. But people love those games, and from what I did play, it looked beautiful, it sounded great, and the controls were just fucking tight as they all can be. So that's actually pretty cool that they won that game or won that award. So,
and I did not realize it was a PlayStation exclusive, which kind of makes sense because I had not heard of it prior to them getting that.
Yeah. So awesome. I mean, that was awesome. It's not a game that I'm for, and it's like the Dark Souls and Demon Souls. I play games to like relax. I don't play games to get my ass kicked left and right. So it's not really for me, but it's awesome that they won that. So I like to see new IPs actually stand a chance, like that.
Yeah, that's always good to see, is something new come out and then it actually has some success.
Yeah. We did see some of the release trailer for Destiny 2, the Witch Queen expansion pack, which will be coming out in February for all those people that love Bungie's online MMO first-person shooter type game. And then I saw one which looked super Japanese. It's from the creator of Silent Hill. Did you get a chance to see that trailer?
No, I missed out on that one. Nightingale and the Beat Saber expansion. I did not see any of those.
Yeah. So this game is called Slitterhead. It's essentially like you're in Japan or a version of Japan, and there's these weird creatures that live inside humans, or the creatures resemble humans, and then they're murdering people. So think of anything super gruesome from Silent Hill and then put it inside a human body and have them live amongst you. So I can't think of like a horror movie at the moment off the top of my head that it would resemble, but it was like one of those things that it looked familiar where they look normal and then their mouths open up and like these weird tentacles come out to wrap around your head and try to eat you. So,
Yum.
Or it's like any hentai, I guess, if that's your cup of tea. But then after that, we saw Nightingale. It's in pre-alpha at the moment, but it's a survival crafting game that does multiplayer and solo play. But as soon as I heard survival crafting game, I tapped out, even though it looked really pretty. Then we had the Beat Saber pack that they surprise announced that it was out now for Lady Gaga. I did pick it up. I haven't had a chance to play that yet, but I mean, I pick up almost all the pack, or I have picked up all the packs that have come out for Beat Saber because it's not going to hurt to have a pretty expansive library.
I need to start playing that game again.
Yeah. I think this is what's going to get me into it. And there's like 10 songs for it.
Oh,
so
that's pretty good.
I feel like it's the Lady Gaga pack is very meaty as far as tunes. I felt like it matches what like Linkin Park did. I want to say what Green Day was. No, Green Day was a little bit light, I think. I feel like some of these packs could have done more. I think Green Day could have had a couple more songs. I think Panic at the Disco could have had a lot more songs to that, because Panic at the Disco has a lot of songs that would fit that.
Oh yeah, their songs definitely fit the MO of the type of music you want to hear on a game like Beat Saber.
Right. But then you have to think of like what the licensing cost is of that, and like
sure,
maybe we can't get more Panic at the Disco songs because it's going to bankrupt our company. But if that's the case, then I hope that they think about revisiting, Panic at the Disco and do like a second pack. So, but I digress. The Lady Gaga pack looks pretty cool. And a lot of it is from her first album. So it's a lot of her singles that everybody knows, So that seems like it'd be a lot of
greatest hits, so to speak.
Fun. Yeah, exactly. So you can't go wrong with that. Play the hits, as they say. There was a trailer for, Lord of the Rings, the Golem trailer. We actually got to see that. It was a cinematic trailer, so we didn't get to see any gameplay. I wasn't actually excited about this game at all when they announced that they were going to make this. I was just going to let it fly under my radar until I saw, the cinematic trailer where he's Golem, right? He's crazy and doing his own thing. And then he drops like molten ore on a bunch of orcs. And I started thinking of the possibilities that you're going to be able to do in a stealth game featuring Golem.
So it's like it's a Lord of the Rings version of Hitman?
Yeah, I would think so. Based on the trailer, like that's what I'm assuming. I don't know anything about it, and we didn't get too much details from the trailer. They were just showing the cinematics, so it's not realistic, right? It has a cartoony look, which I'm not opposed to, as long as the game is fun. And that trailer did pique my interest a little bit, so I am going to look into it, and I will watch it and see where it goes. If it comes to Game Pass, I'll jump in on it and give it a test run. So then after that, we saw, there's a new PUBG Battlegrounds trailer that came out. I know you're a PUBG type guy. Is that something that was for you?
I missed it. Like I said, I hit the highlights, like the major awards and a couple of the trailers. That was not one of them, sadly. I'll go back and watch it, I'm sure.
Yeah. Then we had the world premiere trailer of Somerville, which didn't really, link to me very much, so I didn't get very much details out of that. Then they followed that up with the concert performance for Delicious Last Course, which is a theme song for Cuphead, which will be coming out June 30th. I actually liked watching this concert as well. It was almost like those old timey, flapper girl, artists. Like a radio show tunes style.
Like a big band, flapper girl.
Yep. So it was pretty cool. I actually enjoyed that quite a bit. So so we got that information.
Have you played the first Cuphead?
No, I want to, but it's one of those games I know is really, it's overly difficult and it's a bullet hell. So I don't think I'm very good at them, but I would like to check it out, which I think is on Game Pass as well.
Yeah, I've seen gameplay for it, and it looks amazing. But just like you said, it's one of those games that if you don't play it, if you're not perfect at it, you're going to have a rough, frustrating time. And I already know myself well enough to know that game will drive me over the edge. So sadly.
I want to try it out just for the fact that it was all hand drawn. It's all completely hand animated, to look like one of those 50s and 60s cartoons.
It looks really good. I can't disagree.
So I want to see that in motion on my TV, and that's what's going to probably get me to download it and try it out. But as far as everybody's fever for Cuphead, I don't think it's going to strike me all that well. We'll see. I may give it like 2 or 3 hours on a weekend or something like that and see where it's at. Sonic Frontiers was a new trailer for the video game that's going to be coming out in 2022, specifically holiday. No more information was really given other than some of the, you get to see a big ass tower and there's a big baddie, but no other details. We did get to see the world premiere movie trailer for Nightmare Alley, which will be coming out December 17th, which is next week. But it's like I think it's gonna be like a horror movie. So I'm gonna skip.
It's always kind of confused me a little bit why so many horror movies are released around Christmas.
It's the counter the joy.
I guess.
Like
there are people in my family. There are people in my family. It's a tradition that they go to the movies on Christmas Day to go watch a horror movie, and it's just like, no, I'm good. Thanks though.
Right.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I had to spend time with family. That's horror enough for me.
Your words, not mine.
Just
whoever might be listening.
Kidding. Just kidding. Have a sense of humor. Merry Christmas and all that. We saw the best art direction, which was Deathloop, which I think is a pretty good, fit for that. Although I don't play that type of game. But then we saw they kind of like in a certain point they really just dropped a bunch of the awards instead of doing them in between a number of trailers.
Mm-hmm.
To kind of break it up. They're like, okay, trailer, a couple videos here and there of people talking, and then we're going to drop like 6 of the winners for our game awards, which is funny that you're a game awards show and they're not focusing on the game awards so much or letting people have that voice. They're just like, great, here you go. Thanks. Move on to the trailer. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like a different E3 that's hidden behind an award show. But so we got best art direction for Deathloop. Then they showed off the player's voice winner, which was Halo Infinite, which is everybody's super excited about Halo. I don't know. I don't necessarily think that Halo should have been on this list for the fact that the show was yesterday. Halo came out the day before. So you're really just basing it off of multiplayer and then people's excitement for this title.
Not to mention all of the issues Infinite has had up to this point.
You have that. Okay, so Halo Infinite is out.
But that has nothing to do with, the voice acting.
Well, no. Well, it's not even the voice acting. It's us that voted for it. We how excited are you about these games? And everyone chose Halo, and that's so the player's voice is us.
The hype on that game has been peak.
Yeah. But I don't necessarily think it should have been on this year's show. You know what I mean? It could, because it's going to be in the run for Game of the Year next year. Because of where the show
it really depends on how they flesh out that game over the next year.
Yeah.
It can go either way.
It could. Because, especially since you're delaying everything. You're delaying the co-op. You're delaying Forge. You can't even go back and replay missions at the moment. Like, that is a feature that comes later.
It is an incomplete game upon release.
Yeah.
I have not even played it yet. I've downloaded it, have not played it yet. And I don't plan on playing it anytime soon. I'm waiting for them to fucking finish the game. Then I will go play it.
Yeah?
And that kind of pisses me off.
I mean, it depends on what you're looking for in the game. Like you're going to hold the game off because they didn't do Forge and co-op. But I've played some of the campaign already. I'm in the second mission, and it looks great. And I like, everything about it so far. I just feel like they could have done a couple things. Like, why is replaying a mission
not
feature
available
that comes later? What, like, if I miss a skull or if I miss one of the audio logs that gives me more story and I want to go back and grab that, I can't.
Yeah. Right now, their attitude is basically, well, tough shit. Go fuck yourself.
Like we'll do it later,
which upsets me.
Yeah,
because like this was supposed to be out a year ago, and then you delayed it. Okay, fine, but now you don't even have the basic functions of a first-person shooter campaign.
Right?
Really? Like how bad was it a year ago? Did you have anything done? Like what is going on?
Yeah. So, like, I don't know, man. So far, the story is neat. I'm that person that's only getting bits and pieces of the story because I haven't actually played 4 and 5, right? So there's a whole mess of shit that I didn't get to. I just wanted to jump in it, to be part of that conversation.
It had been so long since I played some of those Halo games, and I've never played Halo Wars 2, so there's a little bit of lore there that I'm not familiar with. So I actually went on YouTube and watched, it was like a 40-minute video. There's a bunch of them on there, but the one I watched was like 35 or 40 minutes, and it was just a complete Halo recap from beginning to end.
I need to do that, and I wanted to do that because I did hear from one of the other streamers, at Kind of Funny, saying that there was no backstory opening, which I thought would have been cool. Like that should have been an option as well. Like, hey, do you want to know more of the story or do you want to jump into it? Because people who are constantly playing it or played all of them right leading up to it, they don't want to see the recap, and that could have been like an option, I think.
Well, hell, for all we know, it'll be coming later, right? Like everything else.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Such a mess.
But Halo Infinite is the player's voice winner. So I'm excited that everybody is excited about it, and it does look pretty and it plays well. I wish it could have been. It has a little bit. It's a detriment to itself to a point when we live in an age where shit can be pushed on you via download, and so that's how games are increasingly becoming more piecemeal.
Games as a service.
Yeah. So from there, I will say the best RPG winner was Tales of Arise, which I believe is on both consoles. I don't believe it's a PlayStation exclusive. I am playing it on PlayStation, and I feel like it's the Tales of games are very much like a Final Fantasy style, right? So it's very anime-ish, and they have a shitload of menus and stuff like that. But I actually enjoy Tales of Arise. I did vote for that one to win the best RPG winner, so that was actually pretty cool to see that one and Kenna. So some of the games that I voted for were coming out on top, which was pretty fucking neat. The best score and music, which was Nier Replicant. I haven't actually played the Nier games, but it's another Japanese RPG. I haven't actually checked out the music or anything like that. So having it win, it got a lot of people behind it. I'm gonna check that out. See if Spotify has it or stream it on YouTube or anything like that, because I'm interested in seeing what the sounds are for that. We have Content Creator of the Year, which is Dream. So congratulations to Dream on that one. Best multiplayer game, It Takes Two, which I believe is on both consoles.
Yes.
And I haven't had a chance to play it. I know a lot of people like this game a lot. And I like the idea of it, where I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's essentially like a husband and a wife. They get turned into like little toys, and they have to figure out how to get back to their original forms. And the story kind of follows them as, and they're trying to reconnect because I think they were either divorced or going through a divorce or whatnot. And then by the end, it's supposed to like be a feel good story. And I want to actually play that. And I think I'm going to try to make Mary play that with me.
Yeah, that's my understanding of it as well. I have not played it. You cannot play it solo. It requires a co-op partner. So there's a chance I may never play it.
That's not true. I mean, we could play it together. You should make Jessica play it.
Yeah, maybe. I think she's going to be distracted soon with Christmas gifts.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to get, and it won't be for a little while, but I'll try to see if I can get Mary to jump in and play with me on that one. And then if it's good, hell, you and I can run through it.
Fair enough. It depends on what system you get it for, I guess.
It's on Game Pass, isn't it?
That I don't know.
So
That I don't know. I do know that because I looked into it, only one person in the co-op needs to own the game or have it like officially, because you can play it through something called Friends Pass. First time I'd ever heard of it was looking into this game more. So I don't know the details of that, but it sounds really cool.
cool.
Like you can share it with a friend. They have to download something, but once they do, they can jump into the game as that you're hosting, even if they don't quote unquote own it.
So if you get it, then you can host me playing it.
I think so. Like I said, I don't know if that's a PC feature or if that's available on Xbox. It's the first time I'd ever heard of it. It's really cool, but I need to learn more. I just found out about it this afternoon.
Awesome. Well, let us know, because that's actually, I hadn't actually heard of the Friends Pass thing either. So that'd be neat to actually hear about that. From there, we got to see Best Mobile Game, which was Genshin Impact. I did tinker with that a little bit. So that's pretty neat to see that one. It's not a surprise for that to win. Then we saw Best Narrative Winner, which was, this actually surprised me. So the Best Narrative Winner, which was Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
What did it beat out? I don't remember. I'm going to go look. It beat out Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange, True Colors, and Psychonauts 2.
So okay. That's why I'm surprised that the Best Narrative won, because I would have at least given that to Psychonauts 2 or Life is Strange.
Well, Best Narrative, I guess Life is Strange. I'm surprised It Takes Two, considering how well it's been reviewed and liked.
So that's
crazy.
What
do I know? I just work here.
We did see a trailer for Warhammer Vermintide, which seemed pretty neat. That piqued my interest as well. I don't know what type of gameplay.
Is it an expansion?
I believe so.
Because I was gonna say, isn't that already out? That's been out for a while, I think.
Yeah, so I guess it didn't save the expansion that I wrote down on it, but it was the expansion for Vermintide.
Okay, that makes sense.
Then I saw another game, very cartoony, for the trailer, Tachia. This one, it made me think of Zelda Wind Waker a little bit, where it has that cartoony look, right? But you're going through, it's like a whole puzzle game, and I'm a sucker for those, so I'm definitely going to check that out. That'll be coming out on PlayStation spring 2022. We did see a cinematic trailer for Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. That's coming out in 2022. I honestly don't have any interest in that game. So, I don't know. If anybody, if you play it or anything like that, plays it, then we could probably talk about it a little bit more. But I'm not a fan of the Suicide Squad in general. I haven't actually been a fan of Suicide Squad as a comic book, and I never saw the movies, and I'm not interested in playing the game.
You never saw any of the movies?
No.
Kind of surprised by that. I mean, you're not missing a ton. I'm just a little surprised. That's all.
I felt like the way DC was handling their movies, I wasn't actually a fan of most of them, and I haven't seen most of them, right? Or any of them. I think I've only seen Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah, and one of those was not as good as the other. Right.
But that's where I'm at. Like, I didn't watch Aquaman. I didn't watch the Justice League. I didn't watch Batman vs. Superman. You know what I mean? So, I have no horse in the race for Suicide Squad.
Fair enough.
We did get a reveal trailer or a release trailer for Forspoken, which will be May 24th, 2022. That's going to be a pretty fucking neat game as well, or has the potential of being neat. So we'll see how that goes. But that's definitely on my short list of games to check out for next year. Then we saw Warhammer 40,000. Yeah, Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. That's the one that actually piqued my interest as well. If you check that one out, it was just kind of like essentially Marines getting their ass kicked, or at least soldiers getting their ass kicked by these xenomorph looking.
Thank you for making that distinction.
Yeah, and then then you had the Marines come in and their big ass blue armor and just totally wreck everybody with their chainsaw swords.
That's right, Adam. You heard that right.
Then we saw a couple other trailers. Saints Row, Fall Guys. They were doing a couple of costumes. And then we got another award. So Best Action Adventure Game winner, which was Metroid Dread, which is that surprised me. Not because Metroid is bad. Metroid Dread is actually a pretty cool game that I enjoy on the Nintendo Switch. It just surprised me that it beat everybody else when Metroid isn't really a fan favorite in the Nintendo catalog, right? Like Mario or Zelda, I can see winning the best action adventure game. Metroid, it would never win against those types of games. So it's cool to see that one also came out on top.
Yeah, it looks like some of the games that it went up against, Guardians of the Galaxy, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village.
Right. I can't say anything about Resident Evil because I didn't actually play that one. Ratchet and Clank is a fucking great game from start to finish. Incredibly fun, right? Just the gameplay mechanics for that game was like, it showed the power of like the PlayStation. You know what I mean? It's almost like Forza showing the power of the Xbox, where in Ratchet and Clank, you're able to jump through or you're not jumping through portals, you're pulling portals to you, which changes the entire world. And sometimes it's a different location or it's an entire world altogether, right? So there was so much going on for that game, and the photo mode and everything like that was just peak. That it's crazy to see, crazy to me that Metroid Dread beat out a game like that. But that's awesome. I'm glad that Metroid's getting the love that it deserves. We did see a real-time strategy trailer incoming for Dune Spice Wars, which is interesting. I am a fan of real-time strategy games, so I will probably check that out. Maybe
it's not surprising on the timing for that, considering how well received Dune the movie has been.
Right, and they're going to be doing a sequel, so time to cash in. You know?
Yeah, why not?
Strike while the iron is hot, as the kids say.
Do they?
I don't know. Yes, they do.
Right.
We saw what?
I just said, all right.
We saw a story trailer for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and then we saw a trailer for Among Us VR. So that's going to be something coming out for Oculus and I believe PlayStation VR, and it is something that I do want to install to play together.
Yeah, I agree. I have never played it. The concept of that game is hilarious to me, and I really want to play it. And so I think this would be a very good opportunity. I know the hype around this game has died down a lot. You know, a year ago, this was the game.
Right.
So I know the hype has died down. I get it. And
it's crazy because in our group chat, Adam said that he hadn't played it either, right? It was just his daughter, and you haven't played it, it's a lot of fun. If you guys want to put it on your phones, we'll do a couple rounds at some point. And then
we'll
just to get a feel of it. And then that VR, I think it's going to be really cool. I think it has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I'm curious if that's going to be like a first person view.
I think so.
That'll make it even trickier.
Right. Because you're limited on what you can see.
Right. And I have a hard time with first person view in VR. So I guess we'll find out.
True. Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
Who knows? We'll get back to you on that. No release date for that. I didn't see. There was a concert performance again. It was more like a CG, like K-pop or J-pop.
Yeah, more of an interlude than a full concert type of thing.
Yeah, then they did some Genshin Impact character reveals. I saw Steel Rising trailer and Metal Hellsinger trailer, which is all right. The mobile phone, I believe it's mobile phones getting Rocket League Sideswipe. We saw a trailer for that one. Google Play on PC is coming in 2022. I thought this was actually pretty interesting. This kind of works in a way, I want to say, like what Xbox is doing, right, with their cloud gaming.
Sure.
So you can play games on the PC, and then you can move it all over to your phone and take it on the go and play on the phone and then come back. And it's like a seamless transition or should be a seamless transition for that. I don't have Google Play because I'm not an Android user, but that's pretty neat that they're working on that. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's only a matter of time before that kind of stuff is commonplace.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope we get better internet for that kind of stuff for the whole cloud gaming, because I think it's something that's really
it's a bandwidth
neat.
eater for sure.
Yeah, for sure. This was actually pretty interesting. Star Trek is coming out with a new game, Star Trek Resurgence, and this is going to be a post the Next Generation game, which will be made by Telltale veterans, actually. So it's
that style of game.
Not necessarily. So I looked it up on IGN as well, and Dramatic Labs is going to be the developer. Let's see. It's made by a team of over 20 former Telltale staff and will launch on PC and consoles. I didn't get that feel from the trailer so much, but I could be wrong. And I don't actually see anything about it. But yeah, you're essentially going on adventures and figuring out go boldly where everybody's apparently gone now.
where literally millions of people have gone before.
Right. But it's neat that Star Trek's coming, that they're doing their own thing. I'm surprised there isn't more Star Trek, information, like games and such like that, like entertainment, like Star Wars.
It has a huge amount of potential. And aren't they are making another movie, aren't they? Didn't they get the cast back?
I don't know, actually. That would be pretty cool, because I like that cast.
They were good. I mean, obviously they're not bringing back
Abrams.
They're not bringing back Chekhov, right? Like, that sucks. But yeah. I remember. I mean, COVID may have fucked everything up with it. I'm not 100%, but I could have sworn that they were all on board for coming back to do another one.
That'll be neat. I like that universe. I like what they were doing with it. It was literally a fresh take, right? Because it was in a different universe.
So on IMDb, it's listed currently as 2023 Untitled Star Trek sequel.
That'll be cool. Okay.
And it's the plot is no specifics are known, but it's going to be a follow-up to Star Trek Beyond.
Okay. Neat. All right. Fuck yeah, man.
Simon Pegg, Zachary Quinto, Chris Pine, Zoe Saldana, Carl Urban, and John Cho have all signed on.
So the main cast.
Cast.
A couple unfortunate people that won't be able to make it.
Right.
So let's go ahead and keep on going down. We're almost there. Best ongoing game winner, which was Final Fantasy 14 Online, which also won the best community support winner, which is awesome. I'm glad to see that game do so well, especially in a world where World of Warcraft took over everybody, and if you were an MMO, you didn't stand a fucking chance.
Right.
So and I actually played it for a little while when it first came out. I really liked it. I just didn't have time to keep going with it, but I liked everything that I saw. I liked the lore. I liked the whole, class system and job systems that they had. You weren't limited to just one, right? Your character could be and do anything in the game, which was really fucking neat. I think that fucking kicked open the barn doors as far as content goes for what you could do as a player, right? Instead of being a mage that mined and did jewelry, right? You can only do so much and whatever. Now you can do every single thing. You are able to experience it all. And I think that's really awesome of them. And I can see why they would win both those awards.
Yeah. And what I noticed is that in both those categories, it also beat out Fortnite, which I know Fortnite is still very popular, but the fact that Fortnite did not win either of those, makes me question, is Fortnite starting to die down a bit?
I don't know. I mean, I think they did a trailer for that for Chapter 3 coming out. So it could be coming and going. I just think that the community itself really pushed for it. And I saw this going across all the awards, right? Where, okay, Deathloop I could see winning. But like then we have all these other games that I would like to have seen win did, you know? So that was really neat. And I think that's what made the whole show very interesting to me is we actually didn't know who was going to win. You know, next year is going to be a whole different thing. Halo's going to fucking take it all. It's like last year where Last of Us 2 swept the whole fucking thing.
Right.
You know? So I think Halo will do that next year. So that'll be a less interesting game award show and more for the trailers for me on that one.
I hope you're right, but in my gut, I feel like it's a coin flip on how Halo Infinite pans out.
We saw world premieres for Rumbleverse. That's not anything that I'm interested in at all. It didn't really like tickle me in any sort of fancy way.
But this next gameplay debut is right in your wheelhouse.
Fuck yeah, man. So they did a world gameplay debut of a Plague Tale Requiem, which will be coming out in 2022. And this game I'm very excited for. And I'm also not looking forward to it because it makes me feel sad. But, you know, or at least the first one did. But that's what it's supposed to do. And I think that's why I'm excited to continue this story. Have you had a chance to play this one yet?
I have
Plague
not.
Tale?
I have not.
So I would recommend for you to try that out. I recommend for anybody to try it out. You know, a Plague Tale Innocence. That is also on Game Pass. So if you are on the Xbox, go ahead and download that. If you were on PlayStation, they gave that away, I think, a couple months back for PlayStation Plus. So if you were playing for that at the time and redeemed it, download it and give it a shot because it's really fucking cool. I like the story. I like the idea of it, right? Because you're trying to like live in this world with all these crazy knights in England, but they're not your problem. Your problem is, you know, all these fucking rats and their weird ass eddies that come after you. So this one's going to be really cool. We saw Dying Light, or at least more Dying Light trailers, or that could have been a commercial. I didn't actually pay attention to that one too much. We saw a game called Crossfire, which will be coming out February 10th to 2022. We saw a trailer for Fortnite Chapter 3. So they said that essentially that's going to essentially change the game as everybody knows it.
Yep.
Again, right? Because didn't they do... Because you play Fortnite, right?
Yes. So
they like did a whole world ender event.
Yeah,
correct?
so they do chapters, and then within each chapter they have seasons. Is that what they call them?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I want to say it's like every 8 weeks or so, they make changes to the map.
So what did they do? How was it changed up last time?
God, I have not been playing it consistently for the past few months, so the recent changes I'm unaware of. But they completely revamped the entire map, the entire world between Chapter 1 and 2. And then each season, there's minor changes, which are story-driven to a degree. Like, there's stuff that's going on the island. Like, they have live events sometimes, or, they'll have a theme for a season that impacts how things play out in the game, stuff like that. So... I remember there was one season where, like a bay showed up, like a pier, a dock, and so like it was pirate themed, and there was a pirate ship you could go to, and it was like obviously not Pirates of the Caribbean, but that was the kind of the style of that new area on the map. So they do changes like that. Like they had a spy season, and there was like it was kind of like a noir spy vibe, like 1960s 1970s James Bond kind of feel.
Okay.
And that was a theme for one season, so they make little changes as they go.
That's neat. It does keep it fresh. I like that idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gives you new places to explore and new characters and stuff like that to collect over time. Now,
I could be wrong on this, but I believe Fortnite Chapter 3 is going to be introducing a new island.
Yeah, I would imagine that because I didn't see this trailer, but I'm guessing because changing the chapter is the big change, where it's basically a completely new from scratch island.
Okay. Did you play the change between chapter 1 and chapter 2?
Yes.
Did they change the island on that one?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Everything changed quite a bit.
I mean, that's awesome. Then, like, again, that's one of those things where it's like, it's surprising that Fortnite didn't win that one, because it looks like that they continuously, bring more content and change it and keep it fresh. So, but who knows? It could have been a close call. I didn't see the numbers on that one. We saw some Vampire Masquerade Blood Hunt trailer. That's going to be coming out 2022 spring, and that will be free to play. Then we followed up with another concert performance by Imagine Dragons, Ashley Barrett, and composer Darren Korb. So I know Darren Korb and Ashley Barrett from the soundtrack that they did for Bastion, as well as Transistor. And then for Imagine Dragons, they did a single, like much like Sting, they did that for Arcane. So it was kind of cool to see it. They started off singing Build the Wall, which was from the Bastion soundtrack. And then they played it into the single Enemy from Arcane. And that was I believe that was my favorite part of the mashup. Build the Wall threw me off a little bit because I really like that song. And so like hearing the singer from Imagine Dragons kind of threw me out of the loop a little bit, but it wasn't bad necessarily, but that was a pretty cool performance as well. And then for Best Innovation and Accessibility in Games, Forza Horizon 5, which also won Best Sport and / Racing Game, and also the Best Audio Design. I must have missed that one, but I saw you fill that out.
Yeah, and I have been playing the shit out of this game. I've been playing for 6 days, I think. I think today is number 6. And I have beaten the core of the game already. And I have like 45 hours played in 6 days.
That is fucking insane. Now, I think I still have more hours in the game than you.
You do not.
But I don't.
No.
So I passed you. Okay.
I passed you this morning.
Jesus. So, but it's like I haven't even gotten to the end of that point. I'm not in the Hall of Fame yet, but that's because I'm still going around and I'm driving, and I was doing some of the like the seasonal missions, shit like that, and just screwing around more in between the actual races. So, but I'm glad that you're liking it because
that game drew me in hard and fast.
Yeah, which is why I wanted the Xbox. When I saw that, I was like, I have to get a Series X because that's going to be an exclusive. I want to fucking play that, and I don't want to play it on a goddamn Xbox One, right?
I've had a couple of small issues with the game. Where like I'll hit a loading screen and it won't load. It just loads forever. So I have to quit the game and then restart it, and it's good. And when the loading screens do go properly, there's almost no loading time. It's less than 3 seconds usually in loading screen. So it is very fast. I'm super impressed with the Xbox Series X so far. Excuse me. And Forza Horizon 5 has been a ton of fun generally. And it's more fun than, in my opinion, than Forza Motorsport. But that's because Forza Motorsport is a lot more serious of a racing game. It's more of a simulator than Horizon is.
Which is an arcade. And I think that's why they brought out Horizon, was to do the arcade type racers.
Mm-hmm.
Which, have you unlocked the Warthog?
Not yet.
I
have not gotten lucky on the spin yet. Because I haven't even seen it on because for those that haven't played, as you progress and you level up, you get to spin the wheel. And so whatever the wheel lands on is your reward. And that's how you unlock the Warthog in the game. And I have not had the opportunity to even win it yet, that I've noticed.
Now, since you've put in that much time and you've probably accumulated enough credits, you could just go into the shop and buy it.
I have not accumulated enough credits because I've spent them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought one of the most expensive vehicles in the game to complete some of the challenges.
Okay.
And I'm also buying the player homes that are on the map as I go, because there's an achievement for that. So of course I'm trying to do that.
I'll get to that eventually. I wanted the cars, and after a certain point, I wanted to only get cars on the spin wheel. Yeah. And then I was like, I started becoming okay with winning the credits because I was using those credits to update my cars because I'm not. And I think I said this in the last show, I'm not a car person, so I can't go into the garage and tinker with the car to adjust the tire pressure a little bit on the front and a little bit more on the back and do the engines and yada, yada. That's just not me. That, I think, falls more into the whole Forza motorsport type of gameplay.
For sure.
So I will buy what I need as far as the layouts,
like an auto upgrade kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So they do it, which I think is really cool. And it changes the car up. I don't know if this actually costs some of the credits, but if it does, I've spent a number of credits on like paint jobs and stuff like that. So I actually have a
I don't
car.
Think they do.
It's one of my favorite cars that I'm driving around in, and it's all like it's gray. It looks like a matte gray, and it has jalapeno Cheeto logos all over it. But it is one of my favorite ones. Like even Mary's like, why is there Cheetos in your car? I was like, I don't know. I saw it in the shop and I liked it. And the way like the body of my car looks, it just looks really neat. So I drive around in that sometimes, and when I don't need it for a race.
Yeah, one thing I don't like about the random chance wheel that you spin is that about half of the items on there are things that I don't care about at all. Right. Like, I don't care about the emotes for my character, and I don't care about the clothes that you can unlock. Because
or the horns. I don't really care about the horns either.
I got a cool horn, so I'm happy I got that horn, but all the rest of them I don't care about. Yeah. I got the original Doom song from, like, 95.
That's
Doom.
Cool.
So that's my horn. And that's cool, but I would rather unlock cars or credits. Like, I don't care about, I got a new jacket. So now for the 3 seconds of a loading screen, I'll see my character wearing it because he can't get out of the car when I'm playing the game.
Right.
So why do I care about clothes? Why are those even on there? I don't care. Yeah. It's not a fashion game. It's a racing game.
Yeah. That should be something that you should buy in the store. I think that customization could be for something you would purchase for with credits, right? Or make it even an unlockable thing. Like if you unlock certain houses, it unlocks a number of customization for your character. That would be cool. For the wheel, yes, credits or cars. I guess toss in the car horns for that one as well. But I agree with you on that. But overall, that's awesome that you're playing. Do you like? I know when I played, it puts a bunch of people on your friends list on there that you see running around the world.
Yep.
They're like
every race I race against you, or your drivatar anyway.
Yeah. Which is that's cool. I like that. It gives you my level, I guess, too. I've seen that with a couple of people that are on my list.
Yep. Yeah, you're level 67, I believe.
Yeah, I'm almost to that.
I'm over 100 now.
Holy shit. I mean, when you play hard, right?
I do.
But that's cool. So I'm glad that the best innovation and accessibility. I like Forza, and that was really awesome that they won. And I'm glad that they actually won 3 awards last night for that. And I need to get back to that and do some more races.
I'll be waiting.
Fuck yeah, man. Special release announcement. They did GTFO. So Get the Fuck Out, which is, I believe, a zombie type game. It's from the creators of Payday 2. And so we got to see that trailer. We saw a trailer for Chorus, which is, I believe, a PlayStation exclusive, which is essentially how people are talking about that game is essentially you're playing a villainous character that defected, right? So you're a Darth Vader that if Darth Vader would have defected and gone against the Empire after, blowing up Alderaan. So it looks
interesting.
Neat. Yeah, and so I definitely want to pick that up. And I know it's on PlayStation, but I don't know if it's a PlayStation exclusive. So I apologize on that one. We did see the premiere trailer for the Halo TV series. I'm assuming you saw that trailer.
Yep, but I'll probably never see the show because it's on Paramount Plus.
I will pay for Paramount Plus just to watch the season, and then I'll probably cancel it. Almost like how I did it for HBO before we did HBO Max and all that, where I was watching Game of Thrones, or even like Showtime when I watched Dexter, which I still have to do for the last season. But that's how I'll do it. It'll be a seasonal subscription service. I don't care about all these other subscriptions. I don't want to keep them all year round. But that'll be coming out in 2022. I will watch that. To test it out. I'll watch the first season. If it's not good, but I won't jump back into it.
Gaming as a service is already obviously growing as a problem. And now entertainment as a service is starting to do the same thing. And I'm not interested in paying for 15 different subscriptions anymore. I cut the cord for a reason. And this is still a cut cord technically, but no thanks. I don't want to play this game of I have to juggle all these different subscriptions at different times as you're releasing things I want to see.
Right.
I don't have time for it.
So this will be cool. It sounds like they're going to be following Master Chief in his first year. So I don't want to say
as he goes against the human rebellion, the uprising.
Yeah. So I don't think we're going to see, him growing up. We may see certain flashbacks, and I believe that they may keep it in still first person for the flashbacks to kind of do what they've always done in the games and keep Master Chief kind of hidden. Even though we've seen it in the animated movie, you get to see what he looks like a little bit, but we've never officially seen him in any capacity in the games. At least as of right now, I haven't seen the end of Halo Infinite, so I don't know if that's where they do it, because I know that follows him kind of thinking over his life over these handful of years. So it could be like an ode to Master Chief for Infinite. That said, the Halo TV show, it looks interesting. It looks well done as production-wise for the trailer. So I'll definitely check that out. And I think, like I said, we'll do he's already Master Chief, but he's not the Master Chief, if you know what I mean.
Right. He's still getting experience.
Yeah. So that, which I think will be cool. And I think that opens up the series to go on for quite some time, depending on how they do it. And then we're gonna go through a couple more other things. So best game direction winner, which was Deathloop. Best esports game, League of Legends. Best family game, It Takes Two. So they won another one. Best fighting game, Guilty Gear Strive. Again, I haven't played a whole lot of these. Best sim game or sim strategy game, Age of Empires 4, which is awesome to see that.
For best sim/strategy game, I was a little surprised that Microsoft's Flight Simulator didn't win that.
I don't think a lot of people played that one, though. I know that there's a fan base for it, but it's very intricate as far as the controls and shit that go like that, as opposed to clicking a mouse telling you to go do some trees. So I think that's where Age of Empires kind of elbowed out over Flight Simulator. But I agree with you.
Yeah, I maybe they should split that category into best simulator game and best strategy game, because those are very different game types.
But I don't think there's enough games to do it that way. I think they want a certain amount of games to be on the list for voters, and if it's 2 games or 1 game that year, it makes it difficult.
Yeah, I suppose.
Best VR AR game, Resident Evil 4 VR, which is on the Oculus. Most anticipated game winner, which was Elden Ring. And then we saw the world premiere trailer for Elden Ring. It's going to be one of those pain in the ass games that's going to kick my ass. So I won't play that.
So, okay, Elden Ring. I had never heard of it before this. And so how can it be the most anticipated game if they did the world premiere trailer at this event?
It was a new trailer.
Oh, just a new trailer. Okay.
Yeah.
So I had not, like I said, I had not heard of it. And then they did the world premiere trailer and I was like, wait, that doesn't jive. How can we anticipate something we didn't know about?
Yeah.
And the fact that it beat Starfield as most anticipated game was a little surprising to me.
I mean, they showed off Elden Ring, I think, for E3, and it's been like they've had stuff before that. I mean, like the people I've listened to that are looking forward to this game are fucking hungry for this. So
I guess I've just deleted it out of my memory because I have no recollection of ever seeing or hearing about this game in the past.
Yeah, but it might be something to look into. See if that's your cup of tea. But I think we don't have enough information for Starfield to, like I said, to anticipate more. It's like, cool, you guys are making a space type game, and I'm looking forward to it, but you haven't given us anything. It's almost like, Jesus, that other game that they put out. Oh my god, like, I've totally now just lost it. The one with the Skyrim. Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Like the next
I wasn't sure what you were going for, but yes.
Yeah. The next game people are looking forward to, but that's because they want that next game. There's nothing else behind it, and there's no details. So I think, that's where a lot of people will choose like something like Elden Ring, because we have this information dump all over us, and we're like, great, that looks awesome. Let me play that. You know what I mean?
No, I get it. Like I said, I just have no memory of seeing or hearing about this game before this. So now it's in there, and I'll look into it.
Yeah. So we saw Synced Off-Planet trailer. Looked all right. But I want to go ahead and jump right into the next thing, which was we had special guests Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss. While they weren't there physically, they were on the screen, and they gave us a Matrix Resurrection clip, which was neat, but at the same time also disappointing a little bit for me. Like, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to Matrix Resurrection. But I thought this next one was going to be a whole like new cast, that Neo was going to be part of it in some fashion, but I didn't think he was going to be a main character or the main driving force of this movie. And this clip really just laid it out that this is all it was trying to get the one back into doing his thing. So we'll see. I mean, that's going to HBO Max, so I'm definitely going to watch it, over our winter break, because I believe it comes out Christmas.
The
22nd. They were showing the movie, but that was actually the game. So like Unreal Engine is pushing the boundaries already for these new hardware, or at least what they can do on the hardware now, and they're only going to go further beyond that.
Yeah, which was the whole premise. That was the whole setup that Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss were talking about as they were talking about what we were going to see, about how the line between game and movie and real life and virtual reality are blurring so much now that it's getting increasingly difficult to tell the difference between a virtual person and a real person, like an actual photo or video of an actual person versus what was digitally created for you to see.
Right. So
it's legit. Like it looks difficult to tell apart. You can still barely, but it's only a matter of time before you can't anymore.
I saw that you could see the difference a little bit when they were in the car chase.
Yeah.
Right. But like,
but it wasn't drastic.
That actually looked, so the way it looked in the car chase, right? That car scene, that looked, you can tell, but it was better looking than what they did in the other Matrix movies when Neo fought like those hundreds of Agent Smiths.
Yeah. And that was almost 20 years ago.
Right.
So, technology will march forward and eventually we will not be able to tell. Deepfake will be a thing.
Yep, for sure. I mean, we're doing that with Star Wars with Mark Hamill. We're doing it with Unreal Engine. It's real fucking neat. I know Marvel did it a little bit with like in Ant-Man. So like even Avengers, they did it a little bit. But I'm gonna definitely check this out before the next show so we can talk a little bit more about that. And I'll be doing it on both consoles just to see what if I can tell a difference between the two. But it looks neat, man. So very excited about that.
Yeah, I'm going to be. I have not downloaded it yet, but I'm probably going to be downloading it tonight and going through the Unreal Engine 5 experience at some point this weekend.
Fuck yeah! And then they topped it off with the Game of the Year winner, which surprised me again, but It Takes Two. So this won Game of the Year, a number of other awards, so that was really awesome to see. It is something that I'm now wanting to play because if people loved it this much and it beat out all the ones.
Deathloop, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village.
Yeah. Those are all solid games. That's like our crumble cookie rankings for this week, right? There's not a bad game on there, but it's crazy to see that one overtook the other ones.
Yeah, again, I haven't played It Takes Two. I watched gameplay trailer, reveal trailer, and gameplay video, and it looks like a ton of fun. It looks really well made on top of it. So, yeah, it probably deserves it, honestly. Like, I know I haven't played it, but I have not played any of the Game of the Year nominees. So, until I do, I guess it makes sense that a game that looks that well done and is that well developed as far as both story and visual effects, it makes sense on the surface.
Yeah. And man, next year is actually gonna be a lot of fun. Now that you have an Xbox, I think we're gonna be going through a number of titles that are gonna be up for Game of the Year. You know what I mean? So we'll definitely have to have a Game of the Year discussion next year about this time for our own stuff. The Dandy Awards, maybe.
Dandy Awards. I'm down.
So that was the 2021 Game Awards. So congratulations to all the winners in your respected categories. It's really cool to see a lot of these trailers come up to give us more details. I'm looking forward to 2022 and further on what kind of games we're going to be able to get our hands on. So I know that we have to get out of here. I know this show goes on a little bit long, but we do have about 10 minutes or so. So let's go ahead and get through some things here. Dan, what have you been watching?
So I've been a little bit busy at work, so my ability to watch things has been somewhat limited. But I came across randomly this thing on YouTube called Marble League. And it drew me in, and I watched an entire... Basically, what this guy does is he takes actual marbles, and he does Olympic events with them. And they're in teams and individuals, and he competes them against each other in these things that he's built. The production value is super high. Like, it's hilarious. He does the narration and he's announcing at the Olympics. It's that style of presentation. So he has been doing it since 2016, apparently. So every year he does basically Marble Olympics. Now he calls it Marble League. He does winter and summer games in separate videos. So it's hilarious, it's entertaining, and it was far more interesting than I thought it was going to be when I first started. I clicked on it, I was like, what the hell is this? Like marble racing? How is this going to be I noticed it had millions of views. I was like, why does this have millions of views watching marbles roll down a track? And it is so much more than that. And I highly recommend it, especially with the Winter Olympics getting ready to start. It just kind of puts you in that mood. It's entertaining. It's funny. So go check that out.
That's on YouTube, you said?
It is on YouTube.
All right, I'll check that out. I'll let you know.
It's pretty funny.
Marble League.
And I would watch the newer videos because the production value between 2016 when he first started and now there's a huge gap. It's massive. So I recommend watching either 2020 or 2021.
Awesome. Cool. I'll check that out. The only thing I've been watching is, I finished up Arcane, which is great. I highly recommend it if you still haven't watched it, even for people who aren't into the game. For League of Legends or don't like anime so much, like this, like last week, man, I was saying the animation is awesome. The soundtrack is fucking great. So we finished that up. I know that they do a season 2 trailer. They just dropped that out. I haven't seen it yet. I wanted to make sure I finished Arcane, which I did last night. And then I went through the 5th and final season of F is for Family, which is the Bill Burr animated show.
Yes. Yeah. I have not seen the final season, but I've watched the first few.
Yeah. So that was a show that we frequented. And so it's nice that it got its ending. So it's all wrapped up. 5 seasons, the complete series. So if you are still hanging out on there or waiting on that one, jump in on that one. And then, got my weekly Hawkeye. So waiting on you to watch that. So I think.
Yeah, I'm still on Jessica Jones. I've been slacking.
Yep.
That's on me. It's my fault.
So once you catch up, we can talk about that a little bit more. I don't want to go into spoilers for you. So by the time you catch up,
or the audience, because it's true.
It is still going. But by the time you catch up, everybody's already going to know about everything, and we'll do spoiler city for all this shit.
That sounds good.
Because when you watch Loki, I'm rewatching Loki with you.
Oh, okay. I'll let you know when I get there.
So
just like with Sonic, I need to pull my head out of my ass and actually start watching. But when you put 45 hours of a game, or you put 45 hours into a game in 6 days, it doesn't leave a ton of space for watching things.
That is true. So pull back 5 hours and put that toward TV. You can knock out 4.5 or 5 episodes or so. Depending on the show.
We'll figure it out.
Cool. All right, man. Well, let's go ahead and jump into Q&A with DNA. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Let's get into our fucking weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Q&A with DNA. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah. All right, Dan.
Wrap it before you tap it, as they say.
1, 2, 3, baby, as they say in F is for Family.
Yes.
All right, man.
All right.
Let's jump in on it. Let's go ahead and go first.
You ready?
Yes.
All right. When you were young, what did you want to be when you grew up?
A musician.
A musician?
I wanted to be in a band. But I never got around to, having the discipline that I needed.
Oh, to learn an instrument?
Yeah, to learn an instrument, keep at it, that's a whole new world. So I never even got into it. Or even just being like, I'm terrible at singing, but I want, being a singer in a band would have been neat. That's what I wanted to do as a kid.
Interesting.
Pretty simple.
What instrument specifically were you most interested in?
Guitar. But as I got older, I like the idea of picking up other instruments, and I kind of want to do it still, like the violin or learning how to play the piano, even though it's going to be fucking difficult for me being at 36.
Yeah, piano's always been the most interesting to me. But was it? Yeah. I never. I mean, for a couple of years I played the trombone, but I never learned how to read music ever.
Yeah.
I just memorized the music. I never learned how to read it as I went. It was weird.
No. But that's what I wanted to do when I wanted to grow up. Now I don't want to grow up. And this is
you want to be a Toys R Us kid?
Yeah, fuck yeah. even though they died. You know, who knew?
Well, not completely. They're still kicking around in Canada.
That's true.
Yeah,
we just have to move. All right, so here we go, Dan. You ready?
Yes, sir.
If you could give all human beings one virtue, which one would you choose?
Ooh, one virtue. Is there a specific list, you think?
Perhaps.
Is there a list of virtues? Temperance, prudence, courage, justice. Apparently those are based in Christianity. What are the... Whoa, damn. There's a lot of them, apparently. Moderation, country, school, ideals, faith. Wow, there's quite a few. I'm just going to say, if I could give one to every human being, I would say just general situational awareness. Like, increase that shit to 11.
Yeah.
Like, you're fucking meandering down an aisle at the grocery store pushing a cart and I can't get around you and you have no idea I'm there trying to get around you. Like, I want that person to fucking know to get the hell out of the way. I'm driving down the road and it always makes me nervous when I am like going the same speed as somebody, but I'm like half a car length behind them and there's that empty lane between us. And I want to get in that lane. I'm always worried that person's going to want to get in that lane at the same time.
Yeah, because it happens frequently.
It happens all the time. And so I just want people to have fucking situational awareness around them to realize that they need to get the fuck out of the way.
I agree.
So I think that's what I would give them. Like, just be aware of your goddamn surroundings.
There's no wrong answers to this question of yours. However, if it wasn't the one you chose, it's wrong. So I agree. I agree with you. 100.
Yep.
100%, as the kids say.
I feel like that just makes everything better.
I agree.
I feel like I can't think of a downside to that. Like, if you say, oh, I want everybody to have more faith. Like, their wars have been fought over faith or friends and ideals or things like that. Country, family. Yep. Not that there's anything wrong with those things in general, but if everyone just has maxed out situational and awareness of their surroundings, I feel like there's no downside. It can only improve everything for everyone. So that's my answer.
That's a great answer, Dan. And
I like to think so.
And that's it, Dan. You know what I'm saying? That's it. This has been the Jabberbox Podcast, episode 24. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget that we post each and every week about whatever it is we want to talk about. If you like that, please join us over at patreon.com/dandydigital, where you can write in and be part of the show. Let us know, did your game win its awards or not? And you can also get these shows earlies. If you have no bucks to toss our way, that is just dandy with us. Please find us and subscribe to us on YouTube or any of the podcast services and rate us to help us grow the show into something bigger and better. Until next time, let's get to this fucking weekend and talk to you next week.